On her birthday, the princess asked her father for a top-quality male slave. After being toyed with by her for 5 years, the man returned as the crown prince to seek revenge. The crown prince, in a frenzy, held her head. He vowed to pursue her even into hell and not let her go. Knowing the plot well, Qian Yanni decided to avoid death. She decided to stop the male lead from turning evil. Her sister wanted a man as a gift. After learning this, her brother's jealousy was evident. He stormed directly into his sister's room to question her, but she blocked her ears. Yet she was forcibly confined by Eric. She had just been broken off from her engagement with the eldest son. Are you already eager to toy with men? In order to maintain her villainous woman persona, Qian Yanni pushed his hand away. You're like an unlearned rascal. You barged into my room without even knocking. How dare you brazenly lecture me? Her brother was clearly taken aback. But in Qian Yanni's memory, uncouth Eric has been disgusting from the very beginning. Father has been at war for years. She originally had little time to spend with her daughter, but she adopted her comrade's child after the war ended. Luna's charming personality, instantly winning the love of my father and everyone. And it's all because she is the witch who caused my mother's death. Do I really deserve to be disliked by everyone? How nice would it be if my father held me like that too? Do you usually have this expression? Is it intentional? It's truly disgusting. The siblings have openly bullied the Duke's daughter for 18 years. I heard that Benio's eldest son is about to hold a welcome party for selecting his fiancée. I said I will not get married. I want to stay by the Duke and my brother's side for the rest of my life. Oh dear, miss. How long are you going to watch the princess's expression? The words that Luna and the maid intentionally said as they passed the doorway. Every word reached Qian Yanni's ears. Really both childish and boring. As a failure who has transmigrated through multiple worlds, Qian Yanni completely ignored the provocation and antics of the two siblings. Don't even think about taking your anger out on Luna. This is her last chance. So she didn't want to create trouble. She urged Eric to carry out her father's orders quickly. Take her to the dungeon to see the Pelishite family's strongest killing weapon. The monster male lead, Ledian. The key is the medium for entering and exiting the dungeon. Running down the stairs in a rush. Finally going to see the peerless beauty from the original work. Stop, it's dangerous. Pink-haired girl followed closely. Do you know what place this is? Dare to come down casually. Eric has always been in charge of the dungeon. His subordinates only obey him. They deliberately called so many people. They just want to see her embarrass herself. The original work features a red curtain. This is where the male lead is located. But behind the curtain, there's only a wall. If Qian Yanni were here, she'd be completely helpless. But the angel granted her the ability to use the past host's powers. She punched through the wall. The male lead was indeed hiding inside, making such a loud commotion. He actually sleeps so soundly. She found a noticeable white powder in the food. To avoid handing Ledian over to her, they actually drugged him. She crouched down and gently caressed the male lead's cheek. Ledian is probably only in his teens now. Zhao gave the man a piece of candy. If you can remember me. Next time, I'll give you 2. It's the first time I've seen my sister's gentle side. This is too abnormal. She grabbed her sister and tried to take her away. But she was slapped away. From the beginning, Eric not only prevented her from meeting the male lead, still chattering endlessly in my ear. As a soldier serving as the Imperial Commander-in-Chief, shut your foul mouth. To conveniently meet the male at any time. Kicked in the knee again. Are you crazy? The pink-haired one was making a racket. In return, Qian Yanni ruthlessly pounded him. The male lead fed the candy into his mouth. So sweet. I can't believe they want to give me 2 of such candy. I have to tell her it's unnecessary. But can see a woman with overwhelming strength beating someone up. Might as well continue sleeping. To obtain the other one of the 2 keys. How does she have so much strength? The princess decided to target Duke Pelishite, grabbing the collar of the pink-haired one. She's completely a layman in politics and making money. And Qian Yanni can precisely utilize her past knowledge. Play a little money game appropriately. From the welcome. Thus gaining her father's favor. The maid suddenly received a letter. The happiness on his face was hard to contain. The eldest son sent an invitation. Take it and throw it away. The maid could hardly believe her ears. The young lady crazily pursuing the Duke. They actually want to hold such an important gathering. What's even stranger is, the Duke does not dine with the family. Now she's appearing in the dining hall wearing her mother's belongings. My birthday is coming up soon. Take it off. Knowing full well her birthday was also her mother's death anniversary. The Duke deeply loathed his daughter because of this. The Duke angrily pounded the table. The green tea sister pretends to mediate disingenuously. After all, it's a birthday once a year. It's only natural to expect blessings. Isn't the uproar over the gift enough? So this is how they've been silencing Qian Yanni all along. Zong. For this birthday, I want to fondly remember my mother. I know everyone says I am the witch who caused my mother's death in order to be born. I don't care about others. But I have always been waiting for you. I believe that one day you will tell me that I did not cause my mother's death. A sincere expression. Causing the Duke to no longer be harsh. Letting his daughter sit down to eat. The old father kept stealing side glances at his daughter while she ate, complimenting the food as delicious. Ahem. It seems the food suits your tastes. The Duke was just about to instruct the kitchen to prepare more dishes that his daughter liked, when he was interrupted by Eric. Your Excellency, regarding the investment in the jewelry store. Have you made your decision? I think the squares and roads over in Taika are connected. The transportation is also very convenient. The two siblings were harmonizing well together, clearly intending to isolate Qian Yanni. But unfortunately, people have already read the original work. I oppose this. There are rumors that the royal family wants to abolish the existing commercial area, to develop a new area. The authorities suggested buying the land over in Baron. but it was met with skepticism from her siblings. The inheritance my grandfather left me. It's still untouched in the bank. Then let's diversify the investment in my name. Father shouldn't lose money either. A thoughtful consideration. Received praise from her father. Allowed this matter. Anyone from the Pelishite family. Everyone should have such courage. Thus, she successfully obtained the key. But she saw the male lead again. Only to stumble upon someone being beaten by a knight. What are you doing? Is it because you're not very bright? So, you don't learn your lesson? I told you not to touch my people. He saw the key in the princess's hand. The man was taken aback. It is said that this true princess has legitimate lineage. In the future, I will become the master of the Duke's residence. To prevent this kid from having improper thoughts. It was Lord Eric who asked me to teach him lesson. But if the rumors are true, the first to die in the future will be me. There must be some misunderstanding. I'm just training. I will give you another chance. Explain it to me clearly. Why is Ledian bleeding? This method can strengthen Norma's body. Lord Eric also knows. The man is unaware. He will pay a heavy price for his prevarication. Suddenly, his abdomen was elbowed by the princess. Then he choked the man by the chin. Such great grip strength. His jaw is about to drop. Wait for me to come again next time. I don't want to see him hurt. If you understand, then go outside. There's also a little cutie here waiting for my greeting. The man frowned. It seems he doesn't like this title. Hello, Lexian. Keeping his promise, he handed the other two candies. But he was rejected. The man's eyes were cold and piercing. Let's get straight to the point. Who do you want me to help you kill? No one needs to be killed. I will return your freedom. I will be your shelter. And as a condition, you must serve me as your master. The unruly man fixated on the woman. I will not serve someone weaker than me as my master. Huh, how arrogant. If you're looking for a likable toy, then I'm not it. Qian Yan Ni stuffed candy in his mouth. Her proposal will not change. She can give him time to think it over slowly. Nobles want the strongest slave with great power. And the woman thinks that by giving him 2 candies, she can make him loyal to her. To die for her. How ridiculous. Yet the woman untied the restraints around his neck. I told you I would give you true freedom. Back to the manor. The maid mentioned again the reply to the invitation sent to the eldest son. But only she knows the man is not a suitable match. The seemingly humble and kind Arthur Benio. He is, in fact, a person who prioritizes benefits above all. Since he has broken off the engagement with the princess, he needs to marry a woman of greater value. Using the welcome party to scout for candidates, the man flipped through the replies to the invitation. Luna Lieb? Although she is the adopted daughter who couldn't inherit the Pelishite surname. But it is said that the Duke dotes on her very much. You haven't replied even once. Clearly, Luna was not on his radar. But he found that there was one less reply. It's Qian Yan Ni of the Pelishite family. The man raised his eyebrows in surprise. I think she must have given up on you. After all, she had sent you letters multiple times before. The man's gaze was cold. I see. That's really great. But he has a habit of fidgeting with his fingers when nervous, exposing his inner contradictions. The one who crazily pursues him. The woman who annoys him to no end. How dare she refuse him? I'm feeling really upset. Little does he know that in the future, he will beg Qian Yan Ni to marry him. Meanwhile, he has found a new love. She has imprisoned a nation's crown prince. It is merely to satisfy twisted desires. But for the seemingly tamed male lead. Dear master, welcome to my trap. The princess arrived at the dungeon once again, taking advantage of the sleeping monster Ledian to apply the medicine. The guarding knight is caught in a dilemma. Isn't it dangerous to go in now? What if something happens to the princess? Our lives are also at stake. But the princess has already walked inside, dabbing the ointment to treat the man. From the cheek to the neck, gradually moving downward. You must have had enough by now, right? Ledian spends his days in the cramped dungeon, where time feels like years. Letting time pass by. Repeating a meaningless life. Just like her, who has experienced countless reincarnations. Although one can be reborn. Yet it is also an unbreakable shackle. I am just like you. I've had enough too. At that time, you asked me what I wanted. Actually, I just want to live, that's all. According to the original work, after Ledian escaped from the dungeon, will become the royal heir. If you don't want to be beheaded by him, she can only help him. This time I really hope to die a natural death, thus escaping the annoying world. So let's work hard together. They saw the princess come out unscathed. 2 guards curiously walked in. How did this guy fall asleep without any sedatives? The stone envies how the princess is only gentle with him. What's so good about this monster kid anyway? Unwilling to believe, I touched it with my hand. But in the next second, suddenly choked by Ledian's turn. Why crawl in like a mouse? The guard was about to wet himself from fear. Release. Let us go. Remembering the woman's words. I just want to live. The killing weapon unexpectedly softened and let go. Take him away before I change my mind. And the scene that just unfolded. At this moment, it has reached Eric's ears. The princess didn't even bring her weapon. She can actually face that guy alone, whom even 3 strong men couldn't approach. Could it be that the princess's abilities have been awakened? Abilities? What abilities does Qian Yan Ni have? Time traces back to the early establishment of the Mai Tao Empire. The goddess sealed the demon. 3 elf mages who followed the goddess. They were the first heads of the founding contributors. They are the royal Archduke family and the Duke family. The guard's speculation greatly amused Eric. Even the royal family has long lost its elven power. Let alone Qian Yan Ni. If she really had that kind of ability, why did the Duke adopt me and Luna back then? And has been ignoring her own daughter all along? The only thing Qian Yan Ni can show off. It's only that stunning beauty, right? Little do they know, the princess has already changed her soul. The candy that has always been eaten by Ledian. It's actually an antidote. Utilizing the ability of a transmigrated little prince pharmacist. Developed a medicine with a mixed sweet flavor. Miss, why are you making candy? How about I make one for you too? The maid shook her head frantically. Didn't you just add kudzu root? I'm afraid it won't suit my taste. I'm not talking about candy. The police handed a box of ointment to the maid. Apply for 30 minutes. Hands covered in coarse barbs. Instantly becomes incredibly delicate. And it smells so good too. Instruct the maids to share it among themselves. Miss, aren't you going to give some to the duke? The master will surely be very happy. To ease the relationship between the princess and the master. The maid is worried sick. There's no need. After all, he has a panacea. The expensive magic stones are commonly referred to as panaceas. The duke often uses magic stones to treat wounds caused by the war. But she also suffers greatly from the side effects. Her Majesty the Queen has not been going out for events recently. It is said that rashes appeared on the face due to side effects. And who would use a magic stone just for dry, cracked hands? After a long, earnest persuasion, Qian Yan finally relented. Otherwise, I'll go along with what you say. After all, there's no loss anyway. This is just right to boost some goodwill. Instructed Daisy to prepare a gift box and flowers for tomorrow. But the hand cream has not yet arrived. The butler boasted the results to the duke. Look at this. Her skin is as soft as pudding. The young lady is truly thoughtful. To think that these were prepared for the servants of the mansion. The duke showed a look of embarrassment. This. I see. It really looks nice. My goodness. Didn't your grace receive anything from the young lady? The duke was so angry that he fumed and glared. The butler was adding fuel to the fire. It might be because your grace is using the magic stone. That's why it wasn't given to you. What a wonderful thing. It seems your grace won't be able to experience it. That's enough, butler. Thinking about his daughter's indifference. The duke became sorrowful. She might not know that I have been tormented by the sequelae of the magic stone. No wonder they say raising children is useless. But the butler defended the young lady. To be honest, your grace. The young lady grew up almost entirely by herself. You only come to the capital after years of constant warfare. Plus, with the passing of the lady, the young lady spent almost all her time alone in the mansion. Most importantly, when you completely returned to the capital, Eric and Miss Luna were still by her side. So you mean that I deserved not receiving the ointment, right? Rather than saying that, it's better to say, what did the young lady do wrong after all? To the point of being mocked as a witch. There are rumors of a red-eyed witch in the Pelishite family. Outrageous. The old man angrily slammed the table. It seems they look down on my Pelishite family. In fact, the daughter was ridiculed like this. The duke had long since heard of it, but he had always ignored it. There was regret in his heart. The duke understood as well. Late concern is worth less than grass. What can be done now? I didn't do well as a father. That child probably does not want to be my daughter either. Yet he did not know. The emperor held Qian Yan in high regard. Benio's eldest son and his father had an audience with the emperor. Seeing the remarkable eldest son of the duke, it made the emperor feel nostalgic. The emperor's sister had an illegitimate child with the master of the magic tower. Later, both of them met their demise. The duke's family that covets the throne, inciting the ministers to kill the emperor's nephew, to reduce the competition for heirs. It's all Benio's fault. My nephew still does not know whether he is dead or alive. Yet his son grew so tall and upright. The emperor harbors resentment. On the surface, however, he remained expressionless. I heard that the duke's family is going to hold a welcome party. Perhaps this is a chance to choose the future eldest son's fiancée. Suddenly, an attendant interrupted the conversation of a few people, whispered to convey urgent matters. It turns out the land was used by the royal family to develop a new commercial area. Over half were bought by the duke's daughter. The emperor not only did not get angry, he even showed a surprised expression. I greatly admire Qian Yanni's courage and insight. The old fox Benio saw the clues at a glance. The emperor never shows his feelings. When exactly did he become so surprised? This matter is not trivial. Your Majesty, did you just mention Princess Pelishite? Did something interesting happen? We also have a deep connection with Princess Pelishite. Saying this, he elbowed his son, implying that he should help speak. Yes. Although we have dissolved the marriage. However, they had also been together for a long time. But the emperor does not align with their wishes. Since you have annulled the marriage. So it can't be said that their relationship is shallow. I also cannot disclose anything further. The anxious father and son felt like they had cats scratching inside their hearts. The father and son prioritized their interests above all else. In just a few days, he personally went to the duke's mansion to deliver the invitation. The eldest son who previously discarded women like old shoes. Now he intends to restore the engagement with Qian Yanni. However, Qian Yanni's attitude surprised him greatly. She thought she was taming a wild beast. But the other party is just an innocent puppy. Not only does a little flirtation make her blush, her eyes are intolerant of even a speck of sand. A public place despised by everyone is waste. Actually defeated the elite knight with just a few moves. Ever since Qian Yanni obtained the key to the dungeon, the first underling actively pledged allegiance to the battle team, holding an umbrella and providing warm inquiries. She serves the young lady dutifully. Although Lady Eric has always been the leader of the dungeon. After all, the princess carries the bloodline of the Pelishite family. Will likely be the next heir if all goes well. And to gain more support, encourage those who are still hesitating to actively join Qian Yanni's ship. She still needs to present the evidence. Knowing oneself and the enemy ensures victory in every battle. Qian Yanni observes the training ground with a telescope. Learned from the underling. The blue clothing represents a high-level SAW training officer, but they rely entirely on restraining gear to tame the slave Norma. As soon as Norma resists, she will be choked. And such a cruel rule. It is said that Eric listened to the advice of his trusted confidants. Although Duke Father entrusted the research institute entirely to his adopted son Eric, but in Qian Ya-Ni's heart, standing by and doing nothing is also a sin. Just like when he himself was slandered as the red-eyed witch back in the day. Father learned of it, and not only did he not stop it, he even watched her with cold eyes. I thought it would be a fierce battle with swords and blades. I didn't expect it to end with a magical tool choking the neck. What kind of training is this? She needs to completely change that cursed training. But at this moment, the red-haired one takes the stage. Yet he dodged every attack from the training officer. Valentine, you rascal. Don't just focus on dodging. Raise the sword properly. Hearing this name, Qian Ya-Ni's mind flashed with the plot of the novel. Valentine is the illegitimate son of the Decilio royal family. He intended to commit patricide and fratricide and was exiled. He arrived at the Duke's residence. When Ledian became the crown prince, the man usurped the throne to become the young king of Decilio. Moreover, this person will later be of help to Ledian. What are you talking about? If you swing well. Naturally, I fought back. The redhead is extremely arrogant. I kicked the training officer to the ground. I even threw up last night's dinner. With someone like you, how dare you say you can teach anyone? I stomped the training officer hard into the ground. If only there weren't any magical devices. You're just a pawn who can't even control others. You think you hold my lifeline in your hands? So you think you can climb on top of me and shit? Suddenly, someone appeared at the training ground. My underlings behind me can't even stop him. The princess is too dangerous. Valentine is just as dangerous a guy as Ledian. Qian Ya-Ni, however, was confident and prepared. Silently, she picked up the training officer's sword and swung it at Valentine. Although there was no opponent to provoke her, but her former teacher had taught her, the weak want to overcome the strong. The only way was to find the opponent's weakness. Only Qian Ya-Ni noticed. The red-haired man appeared to be dodging attacks. In fact, he was trying to minimize the movement of his right shoulder. It was suspected that the man's right shoulder had a hidden injury. Each move was aimed at the man's right hand. Finally, he couldn't hold on any longer and his sword was knocked away. The red-haired man grimaced, holding his pain-stricken right hand. Everyone present was surprised. Everyone looked at Officer Miss with new eyes. And she remained calm and composed. Next time, you'd better not use a sword again. I'll find you a more suitable job. The man was still unconvinced. Consider this match invalid. Didn't you attack only after discovering my weakness? And I have no information about you. If you want to return to the kingdom and see your father and family again. The rules he mentioned were amusing to Qian Ya-Ni. Beating up the training officer turned the practice into a mess. Is this what you call the rules of the dungeon in legitimate victory? Why don't you wait until your head gets chopped off on the battlefield to say that? Valentine was left speechless. Qian Ya-Ni placed her hand on his chest. A quiet warning. In the Decilio kingdom, how should the loser show respect to the winner? What? Please don't tarnish the training regulations with such foul play. Can't forget the kingdom's laws and etiquette. You better think it through. Who can send you back to the kingdom? It's the one who has enough power to. So who is it that you should submit to now? Yet unaware of the interaction between the two, causing Ledian not far away to be filled with jealousy. A few words made Valentine realize the situation. Immediately squatted down to please the princess, kissing the back of her hand, offering you the praises of Decilio. After speaking, rubbed against the princess's hand again. Since you let me go with this hand, then please use this hand to save me. I am willing to obey you. The obedient puppy look made Qian Ya-Ni smile. And she does not know. Ledian has already been calmed by anger. She actually acted in front of him, having ambiguous relations with other dogs. Didn't she say she would only be his one true master? Indeed, a woman's words are deceptive. And in order to reconcile with the sulking Ledian, he has been watching him train. But has he been training for too long? Who is that training officer? It originated from the Neville people. It is said that he is the Duke's most favored subordinate. Moreover, he only came to this research institute on the condition of teaching Ledian. Anyway, isn't it too much to let the child suffer at this late hour? The training officer's harshness clearly left Ledian struggling. A fierce strike actually sent Ledian into a rampage. The man's veins bulged dramatically. He radiated a murderous intent all over. It was clear that he was out of control. He launched a fierce attack on the training officer. Ledian, wake up a little. But it had no effect. The situation got out of control for a moment. Even the magical item around his neck couldn't restrain him. Hurry and get the tranquilizer gun. The others fled for their lives. The training officer was on the verge of losing his life. The princess tried to wake him up. Although suppressed by his aura, she couldn't move. Yet she still forced herself to remain calm. Come on. Isn't it mealtime now? I'm hungry. Ledian actually walked over to her. But she couldn't show any signs of fear. Because that would be akin to seeking one's own death. The moment the man touched her hand, he actually regained his rationality. He finally came to his senses. Qian Ya-Ni let out a sigh of relief. She thought that her reckless bravery could earn the others' forgiveness. Unexpectedly, her hand was slapped away. Don't pretend you don't know. It's really hard to soothe a little temperamental wife. To clear the injustice of 18 years. The woman no longer pretended to be foolish. And in her first display of power, she severely slapped everyone in the face. The daughter was scolded by her subordinates for 2 hours. The Duke not only didn't stop it but also acted like a turtle retreating into its shell. Even my younger brother was enjoying the spectacle, not caring about the chaos. And just now, Qian Ya-Ni was still full of joy bringing gifts to her father. But waiting for her was a group of fierce-looking retainers. Her arrival seemed to chill the air itself. Confused, she took the letter handed to her by the maid. It bore the royal family's exclusive seal. His Majesty the Emperor actually sent a letter to the princess himself. Before she could check the content of the letter, the retainers began to shout, "If the princess has committed any crime, you better confess now." To make His Majesty write a letter personally, it must be something serious. Everyone was filled with suspicion. Qian Yanni must have done something unspeakable to anger the royal family. Meanwhile, Eric Present there looked like he was just enjoying the show. Clearly, he had already incited the retainers. Even father stood with the retainers. Ignoring right and wrong, they made her admit her mistake. Normally, the woman should have felt no disturbance in her heart. But coincidentally, before coming here, she awakened the original owner's memories. Died during childbirth. The Duke father has been very indifferent to Qian Yanni since she was little. Even regarded her as a disgrace to the family. In that case, you should live quietly and honestly from now on. Yes. In the face of her father's humiliation, the girl had a numb expression, her heart dead as ash. I have long been utterly disappointed in my father. It seems you don't intend to quibble anymore. Why should I quibble? What did I do wrong? The original life was too suffocating. The woman decided to stand up for Qian Yanni, to prove her innocence. She vowed before everyone, if I did anything wrong, then I am willing to take responsibility for the Pelishite name, even sacrificing their own lives? If not, all the lords present must be held accountable for the casual insult against me. The daughter who has always been submissive, to actually make such a venomous vow. Father is simply incredulous, anxiously whispering to Dong Zi, anxiously banging on the table. Qian Yanni, what are you talking about? And seeing the princess frown while opening the envelope, the vassals started barking again. I knew it would turn out this way. The police officer must have committed a serious crime. Breaking off the engagement is not enough. How long do you plan to tarnish the reputation of the Pelishite family? The accusations weren't even finished being spoken. He was stopped by the Duke. Everyone be quiet. Wasn't Qian Yanni about to say something? The old father finally acted like a human being. Episode 16-1014-014-07 and with the content of Qian Yanni's public letter. The people who were just arrogant fell silent in an instant. It turns out the princess bought the land that the royal family was about to use for developing a new commercial area. The emperor not only did not get angry, but also greatly admired the princess's insight and courage. Moreover, he was very much looking forward to meeting her at Arthur Benio's welcome party. I have never tarnished the reputation of the Pelishite family. It was the irresponsible Benio family that unilaterally notified me to break off the engagement, just to slander me alone. They gathered so many vassals. It really is a hassle. I handed the packaged gift box to my father. I didn't expect that giving you a box of ointment would be so difficult. Then I left with a flourish. I originally wanted that group of vassals to apologize. I even wanted them to kneel. But upon seeing my father's regretful and dazed expression, I felt that all of that was meaningless. But human prejudices are not easily corrected. Suddenly, I was grabbed by Eric. I heard that Arthur Benio's eldest son would be coming today. Oh, that's not right. Didn't the eldest son grow tired of you and kick you away? Could it be that today's visit is to see Arluna? A petty provocation. She found it extremely boring. Turned around, not wanting to pay attention to him. Had a meal at the Yuman restaurant. He insisted on getting entangled with the other party, but was swatted away by her sister. Get your smelly hands off me. Don't touch me. I know you want to provoke me, but I'm too busy. But I don't have time to deal with you. His childish thoughts were laid bare. Eric felt utterly humiliated. I feel worse than having eaten a fly. The maid reported that the eldest son has arrived at the Duke's residence. A self-important guy has arrived.